All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, in studio, joined by Randy Angston. What's up, buddy?
Hi, feller.
Howdy ho.
Howdy. How we doing?
Knocking out a couple episodes today. This episode, however, is sponsored by GymShireClub.com. The boys at Gym Shire Club compile the best and baddest gyms around the United States, create t-shirts for them, put them into a subscription at $29 a month, and send them right to your front door. Beautiful shirts. Solves the problem of not knowing what to wear to the gym today.
Yeah.
I got one on right now. If you're on YouTube, check it out, GymShireClub.com, and they're going to be around a while, so check them out.
Hell yes.
All right.
Today's a good one.
Today's a good one. And it's good because it keeps coming up over and over.
God, it's constant. This is the big issue with semi-private.
This is the big issue with transitioning semi-private. So what do we mean? Okay, so in the fitness space, there's different modalities and styles of training. We've got not even the styles of training, but the modality, not the modality, but the physical training itself.
Execution of the delivery.
I mean, I'm not talking about isolation and bodybuilding and powerlifting. I'm talking about one-on-one, class-based, semi-private. That's really what I'm saying. And within, one of the biggest struggles that gyms have is like, hey, I've got large group training and I want to bring in semi-private training because I believe in it. It's a higher price point. We can leverage our coaches, whatever. I can get better results. And they struggle because of the delivery that they're giving to their clients in the large group training or in the class-based stuff. And so if you were to draw a line in the sand or line on a piece of paper, and on the left-hand side, you have your class-based boot camp, large group training on the left, and on the right, you've got semi-private training. Okay, and what are the differences between the two? Now, we believe if you're going to have both, or if you're going to introduce one semi-private and you already have large group, they need to be completely different deliverables.
Absolutely.
They have to look different, smell different, taste different. It can't be the same delivery with less people, and you can't expect people to move into that.
To that exact point, I mean, we are very clear and articulate when we say semi-private personal training. We've never, and we won't, use small group personal training.
And we don't use classes.
Or classes.
Small group classes.
Right, exactly. For that reason is because words matter. And when we're talking about the delivery, back to the kind of unaware marketplace, right? Like you can't expect somebody off, our clients don't know the difference between all of these things. It's our job to educate them on it. Mm-hmm. But gym owners quite often aren't even clear on what that is for themselves. And so we like to think that semi-private is individualized programming done in a shared cost environment, right? You're sharing that trainer's time, but you're getting damn near that one-on-one style training, as opposed to small group, which is exactly what you're talking about, taking large group training, reducing the people, and now it's
doing the same thing.
Doing the exact same style of training, just more proprietary or more...
less people.
Yeah, exactly, more individualized attention.
Right.
That's a clear difference there. But yeah, to your point, they have to look, feel, and be completely different in order for the marketplace and the consumer to understand the difference.
Definitely. And one of the big challenges is, okay, if over here is semi-private training, we're doing strength-based programming, squats with barbells, bench press, overhead press, deadlifts, kettlebell work, isolation stuff sometimes, whatever it is. But over in large group, you've already got barbells flying around. You've got clients doing deadlifts and squats over there. And now you're trying to bring in semi-private. You can't because, well, we're already giving them the strength training that we were claiming semi-private is over in the large group side. So,
and a lot of times you are. I mean, like CrossFit gyms come to mind a lot, right?
Correct.
You have a functional training style, but you're doing it in a kind of a class format, like a WOD, right? Like everybody comes in and does the same workout today. Well, that's great, but when it does break down to, let's call it a semi-private environment, right, where one coach might have 4 people he's working with. Well, now you're basically giving away semi-private training with group rates. You're not making the money from that deliverable that you could if you had a defined semi-private program.
Well, that's where I challenge, like one of our Inner Circle members is like, well, semi-private training is just large group training and you charge more. And I say, absolutely not. It's the opposite. So let's define what large group training, class-based stuff should be. So what I feel like it should be or can be or probably is in a lot of your gyms is metabolic conditioning, high heart rate, body weight work, team drills, high fives, chest bumps, loud music, high heart rate over there, sweaty room, go, 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 go. That's class-based to me. Like, I mean, how you get there could be different, right? Semi-private is strength-based, phased approach, reps and sets, going up periodic weights. Every client's doing something different based on their skill sets, their level of expertise, their injuries, very customized. On the semi-private side, you can completely see the difference between the two, not just the number of people. Yeah, class should have 10, 15, 20 people. Should. Semi-private, 3, 4, 5, 6 over here to one coach. That's the easiest way to show the differences. Now, the problem is when they commingle with each other and you've got strength-based stuff happening over in the metabolic conditioning side, XYZ. So, it's up to you as a gym owner whether or not you want to have both, have none. I mean, do whatever you want, right? It's your gym. But if I was going to have a layer of large group, because I can't get rid of it, for example, it's paying all the bills. If I, tell everybody we can't do this anymore, we're doing semi-private, and they all leave, then I'm out of business. So you can layer in semi-private. And there's ways to do that, and we talk about it in our coaching programs all the time. But the differences of the deliverables have to be very clear-cut, identifiable. And
big time.
And when you're talking to a prospect and they're coming in and you're listening to their goals, based on their goals, you can easily say, hey, Mrs. Johnson, you're in pretty good shape. You just need to lose 15 pounds. Metabolic condition is probably a good fit for you. We should get you into metabolic, But if you got somebody that's 50 pounds overweight, for example, and has bad knees, hips, and shoulders, like throwing them into a large group class is a bad idea for many reasons. They're not going to get the attention. They're going to feel horrible. They're going to get hurt, possibly. And there's so many things wrong with that second situation. That's where a semi-private would be perfect for that client. We're going to work with you a little bit slower. It is a slower pace.
Yeah.
And you can pay attention to those limitations where you can't do that with 20 people. You just can't.
And that's really that's kind of where I want to double down on it too, because a lot of gyms that are coming to me have some sort of like combination of the two. And the thing that scares me the most is that we're doing heavy barbell work. We're doing strength-based workouts where I don't care how great of a coach you are. If you got 20 people in front of you doing these things, you're missing things. You're missing cues. You're taking the risk of additional injury and people doing it with lousy form and all of those things because the movements are compound movements. They're more advanced, right? Like it's not just, like you said, body weight movements and hot, sweaty people in a room. Like we're breaking down the mechanics of some of these things and you shouldn't be doing it with that many people in front of you. I mean, we're taking a massive risk. And I see that more often than any other combination is like, it's like the idea of, more is more. Well, or more is better, right? No, more is more. It's just because you can pack more people in the room and charge the same rate doesn't mean that you're actually delivering the same level of service and expertise that you should be. And so, word to the wise, like just be careful on what you're doing in a large group setting. You could be putting yourself at risk and your clients at risk.
Yeah, there's a big difference between high knees, mountain climbers, air squats versus barbell deadlifts and overhead press and, back squat. Like they're different animals, different movements. One's obviously more advanced, right? You can get away with doing body weight work with some bad form. You can.
Sure.
It's very hard to hurt yourself doing, I could give an example that you can't get hurt at anything, but doing high knees, right?
Yep.
Or suicide drills, right? Just going back and forth, knee kickers, whatever you want to call it. Versus, gosh, you put even 45 pounds on 60-year-old's back, like whatever, or even a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
It depends on what their conditioning is, what's their fitness level anyway. And that's where Zach and I struggle when somebody wants to come in and do a workout on day one before we even become a member. And we don't do workouts on day one for that reason. Like we're not a class. We can't just throw everybody into a room. We had somebody quit F45 for that exact reason and sign up with us because they're like, I didn't even do it. They just came in and they threw me in a class. They wanted me to sign up. Like, where's the coaching? It's just a workout. I can do that anywhere.
Correct.
Right? Exactly. Workouts are free, right? Push-ups are free. High knees are free.
Johnson.
And so we almost were thinking about doing a hit piece against class-based models where people just get thrown into workouts without any whatsoever plan or program around that person's goals. They just throw everybody in the same bucket.
Yeah, just another number of them.
Well, not even a number, which they are, but they're more of a one size fits all.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to get in shape the same way when that's not absolutely, couldn't be further from the truth for every individual person out there.
And you said something, and I want to clarify it. When you were explaining semi-private, you were saying everybody's doing different things. Yes and no, right? So and this is another nuance when gym owners are coming to us wanting to make that switch. They can't grasp how we take 6 people and execute a workout in a session, right? Because of the movement patterns and things like that. And that's where scaling within movements comes into place. When we have 6 people in front of us, it doesn't mean one person's doing a bench press, one person's doing a deadlift, they're not entirely different movements. They're the same movement across 6, scaled to their own abilities within, right? The way that I articulate it to our, those calls and our clients is if it was a horizontal push day, you've got, TJ, who's a young athlete doing standard bench press for, 220 for, 6 reps, 8 reps, whatever his, abilities are. Well, in that same session, you could have Mrs. Johnson, who's 65, who can't push the bar up if she was laying on her back, but she could be doing an inverted push-up against the barbell, in a rack. Same benefit to the client as far as the movement, where they're training, scaled to their, individual abilities. And so I just wanted to touch on that because that is another question. Like, how do I people think that it's one-on-one with 6 people in front of you, and it's not that way. And that's where advanced programming and an app for that.
We have an app
comes
for that.
Comes to play.
Semi-private pro guys, we're slowly dripping it out to people are starting to beta test it, and we've got it in about 5 or 6 gyms right now. And it solves a big problem. It solved many problems when we designed it. I think the number one problem wasn't the programming itself. For me as the owner of the operation, it was the experience for the client. That's where I was focusing with this app is like the clients can see their workouts. There's no secrets. It's right there. I know what's coming up next. The coaches were really where it came down to is I had these coaches were constantly looking at clipboards and looking down at their phones or whatever it was they were using, an iPad at the time. Now it's up on the screen and their head's up, right? And I like that experience better. Plus, the other side of it is 2 people in 2 different stations or 2 different racks can look over and see that person's doing something different than me. The workout name is different. The exercise is different. The range it's all different. So not only are they seeing it, the movements, but they're looking on the screen. They've got their name with their workout, and they got their name on the other rack with their workout. And to me, that's where the idea of the experience came in from my point of view. Now, the programming itself and the ability to adjust on the fly. If somebody's got a bad knee, we can scale it down and immediately cascades all the workouts downhill from that. Beautiful. That's the double icing on the cake for me. But for the clients, it's really was experience. And so we love it. It's working great. Yes, there's been plenty of glitches, but that's what happens in new development.
Software,
and we've been updating it, and we constantly are paying these developers to make it better. And now it's at a point where, it solves a lot of problems for gyms. Now,
absolutely.
So if you're interested in that, let us know. We'll get you with Zach, and we'll kind of set you up on a plan or something. But I think it's awesome, and that solves the problem. How do you train 6 clients with one coach in a 1-hour session? Like, how do you do it? It also has to go back to the setup of the gym. Like, you have to have areas where you can do this. So there's a whole game plan. You can't just flip a switch and we're charging more, and we're doing the same thing. It just doesn't. It just, you shouldn't. Can you? Sure, you can sell whatever you want, but we're very concerned about the delivery and the experience here. I suggest you do the same.
Yeah.
Because you burn your clients out real quick, and they won't come back.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I mean, this entire show, this episode specifically, I mean, we're talking about the experience, and it's not. Again, we didn't call this something about movement. It's not the pattern. It's not the movement patterns. It's the experience as a whole. It's the look, the feel, the smell, the speed, the cues, all of that stuff, right? Not only just how many people you're surrounded by. And these are the things that matter. At the end of the day, you want to be able to bring us a premium service, to the marketplace, to charge a premium dollar amount, and then be able to retain clients for the long haul. Mm-hmm. Your experience has to be stellar.
Correct.
Has to be.
So, takeaway for today: go look at your experience and go look at your delivery between your product levels. And if you don't have a semi-private level, give us a buzz. winninggym.com/grow. That's all we do. I mean, we have a whole switch to semi-private portal now, like a section in our coaching program that we're almost done with, and we're building it out. Mm-hmm. So if you have interest in that, winninggym.com/grow, check that out. It'll be in the show notes in there. Just go check that out. But hopefully this helps identify a couple of the nuances between the two deliverables, and how you can be different, charge more, but be different at the same time. So hopefully that helps. Until next episode, keep changing lives. See you on the next one. Bye. All right. And thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast, where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. And when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.